while I have Aras's bio here, I would like to tell us the reason why some of us know Aras is when Nigeria was in a recession, she taught us how to save money. So, Aras, a round of applause for her. Aras is a financial professional and the author of best-selling financial education, The Smart Money Woman. Many of you here have heard about that book. Can I see your hands? Aras, ladies and gentlemen. Through her personal finance platform, Smart Money Africa, Arase Ugo has engaged millions of Africans on the importance of financial literacy. Welcome to the panel, Arase. We also have a young leader here who is known to stand for what he believes in. I know he has been in the business of empowering young people for over 10 years now. I heard about him before I met him, and his work still speaks for him. Ladies and gentlemen, Adebola Williams. Round of applause, please. Debola, as he's popularly called, is a Nigerian media entrepreneur, co-founder of Red Africa, and also of Future Awards Africa. He is a journalist, a political activist, motivational speaker, and Forbes listed 30 most promising African entrepreneurs under 30. Debola is also popularly known for being the young man who made Obama stand up to give him a standing ovation. Ladies and gentlemen, Debola Williams. Also, we have Siji Bumi Ogundele. Ladies and gentlemen, is he here? Okay. I also saw one of our panelists who will join us shortly, Ramsey Tokumbo Noah. I just saw him some minutes ago. He will be joining us here. He is a veteran Nollywood actor and a businessman, a true professional, expert and influencer in the movie industry, experiences of which he will share on today's panel. Can we also welcome to the stage Mrs. Jennifer Okolo? Round of applause for Jennifer, please. Jennifer is what I would like to describe as a serial entrepreneur who started doing business at the age of 10 when she used to trade her lunch packs in primary school for monetary rewards. That's smart. It didn't surprise me when she delved into the business of the catering business after earning a bachelor's and master's degree in electrical and electronic engineering. She is unapologetically a serial entrepreneur with a track record of starting businesses from nothing and growing and nurturing them to prominence. She is currently the CEO of several chains of restaurants, one of which is the Native Booker. How many of us here know the Native Booker? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, can we welcome Jennifer? A round of applause, please. Jennifer also has a bakery business, a poultry farm, an event center, and she is currently a doctoral scholar at the Walden University College of Business, studying a PhD in entrepreneurship. She is a wife, a mother, and a leader to many in her generation and beyond. Another panelist today is Mr. Tola Onayemi. I happen to know Tola personally. Tola Onayemi, I would like to introduce him as a global shaper, which is a community an initiative of the World Economic Forum. Tola serves as head Trade Remedies Authority and is Nigeria's assistant chief negotiator at the Nigerian Office for Trade and Negotiation. He is also a legal and partnership advisor at the Civic Innovation Hub, Abuja. Round of applause for Tola as he walks on the stage, please. It's also my pleasure to welcome a brother, a friend, who I've known for close to 15 years. He is also known as Mr. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jude M.I. Abaga. I'm not reading your bio. Please sit. Also, a round of applause for Sam Davis. Sam, can you come up on the stage? Sam Davis is a businessman. He is well known in Abuja and in Nigeria as someone in the hospitality business. He is also currently in charge of Nikon Luxury. A round of applause once again for him. Julius. Ladies and gentlemen, can we also welcome Julius Afolalu to the stage? Julius is a security and technology professional who has been involved in the tech sector in Nigeria for a couple of years and also has one of the foremost, most trusted security companies in the city of Abuja and Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, just before we start, the final person who I would like to invite to the stage is Sijibumi Ogundele. Round of applause for Sijibumi Ogundele. Sijibumi is CEO of CG Motor Construction Limited, a luxury real estate company with an extensive and impressive profile of exclusive and elite buildings all around the world in its portfolio. We would be representing the real estate industry on this panel. Ladies and gentlemen, every single person seated here represents one sector or the other. It's also important that with the Play Forum and the Play Network, what we tend to do at such events is to ensure that we are not being spoken to, but we are being spoken, we are speaking, and we are also listening from our peers. So it's not someone all beautiful from one office down the road, all seated up coming to read from a book. Real scenarios, real solutions, and let's see how we can share and learn. So please have your questions ready while we start this first panel. The first panel is going to be quite brief. And it is on key issues and responsibility of business owners. I'll hand over now to our moderator for this panel as he starts this session. Round of applause for Mr. Gillen.
Thanks very much. Please, a round of applause for yourself. You can do better. We'll definitely be going directly to the business of the day. And let me just ask some additions to what Brother has really said. Why are we here today? We have seen it to be task forum. Of course, that's what we do. There have always been a gap between issue of paying taxes and what the tax authority actually expects from us. One of the speakers under tax matters, he said that one of the factors that enhance a good tax administration in any jurisdiction of the world is when there is voluntary compliance. And when you look at voluntary compliance, it means that taxpayers should voluntarily pay taxes rather than being coerced to do so. Conversely, the taxpayer, they strongly believe that this can be better achieved if they are satisfied with the way government spends our revenue by providing adequate social amenities and economic infrastructures. These and many more questions have been the objective of today's meeting. And we assure you that before we leave here today, we should be finding common ground to all these questions. We promise that today's section is going to be very educative, informative, interactive, as well as, if need be, reformative. Please, a round of applause for yourself. Let me just go straight to the first panel will be, we're expecting a brother Ramnoa, supposed to be here. This section will last for like just 80 minutes. and is going to cut across all the panelists on the issues of SME, because we all belong to that part. But before then, do I have that honor to invite one of the representative of our regulators, the Federal Inland Revenue Service? We have in our midst Mr. Femi Edgar, who is an assistant director of tax, special assistant to the executive chairman. Please, Mr. Femi, a round of applause for him. Please. And to be around, whatever we are going to do today, just like the way we have said, we have the panelists and we have the regulators. We have all of us here. The position paper has to be agreed, and we move forward. Thank you very much. Startup and SME, key issues and incentives, responsibilities of business owners as far as tax is concerned. In no particular order. What do we believe to be our responsibilities? Or, if I may ask, do we believe that we must pay taxes? If we must pay taxes, what are our individual responsibilities? Please, thank you. Let's start from there.
Hi. Thank you, everyone. So basically, he asked that, in a working, tax-efficient, economy or whatever, people should want to voluntarily pay taxes. And I think he's right to a certain extent, because I think Nigerians, individuals, SMEs, we all want to pay taxes because we know that that's how governments fund public services. But the issue is, we don't understand the value that we're getting. So, for example, people used to complain about the Lekki-Ikoyi road. Getting from Lekki to Ikoyi would take you like 4 hours. When the toll gate came, which is kind of like a road tax or whatever, I didn't have an issue with it, because I felt like, if this is going to help me get to work earlier, it's going to make my life easier, I can pay that 120 naira. But as a business person, when you're paying different levies and different taxes on different to different types of governments, and you are your own power provider, you are the health care provider for all your staff, you are everything, you're doing basically what the government should be doing for you, for your business. And then on top of that, you're being asked to pay an extra levy. It seems a bit difficult. So I don't think it's that people don't want to pay taxes. It's more about people wanting to see the value that the government brings to their businesses.
I mean, maybe to even throw more light. Under the state taxes, there are at least 4: personal income tax, business income tax, development levy, and withholding tax. Under the federal government, there is the value-added tax, there is withholding tax, there is company tax, and I think there's education tax. 8 taxes. Now, one individual, one business is having to go through 8 taxes. When we were having our pre-conversation, someone had said that, well, tax is mandatory, and it's not based on any kind of value. It's just the fact that you have to pay tax. And then we said, well, what the tax being paid for is to help government function, is to help government deliver its activities. What are the activities? Policies, infrastructure, rate, electricity, institution, amongst other things. Which means that the activities still end up have to benefit me. Which means that my tax is some sort of purchase for these benefits. So whilst we would not say we would not pay tax, I think that there might just be a big communication gap with the agencies to be able to explain what exactly each of the taxes I am paying for are going to and how it adds value to me. If you say to me it's to get good roads, but I still have to go through 25 potholes before I get to work, I would not remember that. All I remember is that I have to fix my car every 2 weeks. So my wear and tear is higher because the service I'm paying for, I do not seem to enjoy it. So perhaps the agencies want to spend more time to show the kind of value they are offering. That, you know what, despite the bad roads you're facing, we were able to do from kilometer A to kilometer B. Perhaps maybe there's a transparency issue. That money you are even paying is not even a lot in the first place. And we can't even do as much as you think that the money can do. So there is a general resentment from business owners, especially because the 95 guys pretty much are in a system, that has quite a number of infrastructure built in. But the entrepreneurs, most of us on the panel, are building our own infrastructure. We're not just building infrastructure. We are also directly dealing with staff whose mother died, whose child can't go to school, whose wife is sick. So the infrastructures that the country doesn't provide for those staff end up being our burden. So I'm carrying my own light, my own water, my own insurance, my own bills. Then I'm having to carry my staff. Then I'm having to carry my domestic stuff. Because my chef must go to the hospital. My driver must get good care. His wife, his children. It's as if they even plan it every week. The driver will come and say, "Oh, my wife is sick." And so you have to then do something. So I think that, there is some sort of disconnect between our reality, of the benefit of the taxes. Even with communication, they do, Lagos State at least does quite a bit of communication. But then I need to, break it down even further. At the moment, it seems like they are hyping themselves, actually. That's what it looks like. So they might need to begin to communicate in the language of the people as opposed to this is our achievement.
Thank you so much, Mr. Debola Williams. I agree with you totally. But the truth is that when you have a problem, you can't fix it overnight. Yes, I agree with you that the taxes are collected for a certain purpose. And I appreciate the fact that Nigeria's problems can't be fixed overnight. Some of the infrastructure that are being provided for today, for instance, the railways. I've been on the train from Abuja to Kaduna. It started working not too long ago, but I also know that the contract for that job was giving out probably a decade ago. So, yes, we know that the taxes are supposed to be used for utilities and the betterment of our standard of living, but it takes a process. I think what we really need is that connection between the probably Ministry of Information and the FIRS, since we've agreed that the tax collected by the FIRS, they publish how much they generate every month. Then they should also communicate with us. Because I pay taxes, I want to know what my taxes are used for. So between the FIRS and the National Orientation Agency or the Ministry of Information, they need to tell us that this money that we've collected this month, this is what it will be used for. So that we can then hold them accountable. It's only when you have a problem that you can fix the problem. So I totally agree with you 100%. And the government is trying to generate more revenue for the purpose of a better standard of living. But like I said, it can't be done overnight. It takes a process. of the dividends of the taxes that you're paying today is even for your children's children. So let's not eat our dinner for breakfast. Pay your taxes today, not necessarily for the dividends to be seen today, but for the dividends to be seen in the future. So whether Nigeria or things are not being done the right way now should not be a justification for or a reason for not paying taxes. Do you understand my point? Thank you very much. But maybe we should give it to the FRS representative.
Thank you very much, Ms. It was a very fantastic presentation. Thanks so much for having me here. I'm a good follower of the Play Network's extraordinary events. Mr. Charles Opaleke is an inspiration and a gift to our generation, and I really appreciate his effort for putting together this Tax Forum. Let's make something as a luxury developer, but I'm here to represent the extraordinary young, uncommon Nigerians. One of the first responsibilities, which I agree with the lady, of any entrepreneur is tax compliance. But the average Nigerian businessman finds it difficult to pay his taxes for various reasons. To illustrate this point very well, I have developed what I call the tax triangular threesome. Because I believe that, this is what I call the tax triangular threesome. It's not might be the threesome, but then. Because I believe that there is a relationship, there's a triangular relationship between the taxpayer, the taxman, and the government. Under normal circumstances, what happens is that the taxpayer should, fulfill his civic responsibilities by paying to the taxman. And the taxman continues triangular arm and pays to the government coffers, to the government treasuries. And the government should now fulfill its governmental responsibilities to the people who are the taxpayers. But as you can see clearly here, the third arm of the triangle is missing. And where the government is completing its obligation, and the people are already experiencing an historical breach of confidence, breach of trust in the government. So the people say, why would I pay taxes when you're not fulfilling your own responsibility and you don't complete the triangle, thread come here? Why would I pay taxes when I am my own government? I create my own road, because if there's pothole, I will fix it. I generate my own power. I spend so much money on diesel. I do a lot of things. I pay my health care. I do a lot of things, and you don't complete your own responsibility. This is where I believe that the problem starts from. This represents the reason why there is a lot of deficiency in the Nigerian tax opportunities. American governments understand this very well. They understand that a successful system would create successful businesses. In 1970, I think late 70s, a young businessman, he was just 21 years old, he approached the system. He approached the bank, and the bank gave him a $1 million loan. 40 years later, this same person today is one of the highest taxpayers, not only in the United States of America, but the whole entire world. This person was Bill Gates. Bill Gates didn't need any rich auntie or powerful uncle. It only needed a system. It needed a system, and it needed a business that would support his ideas. Do you know that if Bill Gates was in Nigeria, he might be in Computer Village by now? So the point is about creating sustainable businesses. Government must create fiscal policies that enhances innovation, promotes ease of doing business, eradicate completely bureaucracy. I don't want to go and register my business and you take me 10. I don't need to take me 1 hour like advanced countries. And which will also, government must also create financial systems where the ease of accessing funds is so easy. I don't have to pay 35% to run a business that will generate 20% annually. So these are the things that we must do. And above that, tax breaks. Tax breaks and tax amnesties are fundamental in the developing world. For example, Ghana gives a 5 years tax break to new businesses. Did you guys know that? 5 years tax break to new business. Just a few days ago, during their 61st anniversary, independence anniversary, the president announced that there will be a 30% reduction in the electricity tariff. No, it's not about there will be 24 hours electricity. No, it's not about electricity will be cheaper. It went further by making life easy for the people and creating 30% of reduction in the tariffs. It is no longer why Ghana's to GDP ratio is at 15%, more than double that of Nigeria at 6%. And South Africa is at 25%. You know that South Africa generates almost $96 billion $90 billion annually, compared to our $11 billion. Abdulaziz Bouteflika's Algeria generates 35%, which is highest in the whole of Africa. In par, it is higher than the United States of America. It is in par with international with international standards. In my conclusion, Nigeria must shy away from employing competent people. If we want this country to develop, we must shy away from employing incompetent people. We must invest in creating systems that will support great enterprises and allow companies to realize their true potential, which eventually will make them more taxable and to allow them to fulfill their civic obligations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to believe that we are really getting educated more. Where we are now is this section. Of course, we have 3 sections. The first one is actually for all of us because it cuts across every sector. Because of the time, I would like us to hear from the authority. In Lagos, you call it Osman. They are here. And this, sir, you've heard our people talking. The first thing is it a must that taxes must be paid? If taxes are paid, what should we be expecting? And if we be expecting something, are there different classes of taxes? Sometimes, local government agents and then coming to harass you, I will close your business. This business will not allow you because of what do I call this? You put signage and some other things. TV and so many other things like that. Sir, are they coming from your office? Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good evening to you all. Best wishes from the Executive Chairman, Federal NRM Service, who is also the Chairman, John Tabok, that coordinates the activities of the state with the federal. To the convener and to all of you and the panelists. What I want to do was listen, because we are sometimes in a position where we can speak about some aspects in public. We can't speak about some aspects in public. But let me say this, like we all agree. We tax collectors. We are also Nigerians. Does that sink? So your observations are not far from us. And truly, the tax system in Nigeria is not where it should be. Now, the figures my friend rolled out, it's an indication of something. What it means simply is this. I want you to reflect on it. You need to give it some time because I'll talk a bit. Is that if Ghana is 50% of GDP and Nigeria is 6%, what he says is that Ghanaians are more tax compliant than Nigerians. That's the figure. Why is another reason, another issue. If 25% in South Africa, many of you are from South Africa. I'm on the panel here. I go to South Africa often. If it's 25% South Africa, it means more, 4 times more tax compliant. Have you gone to the ghettos of South Africa? The hinterland. I mean, you can see the beautiful city, but if you go to the backside of town, there are worse than many neighborhoods. So why are they more tax compliant? That's for thought. Now, it's also made that, don't forget I said I'm a Nigerian, that there are 2 things you can't escape in life if you want: death and taxes. So if it's inevitable, what we, the tax authority, offer you is this. For the inevitable, for those who are starting businesses, or those who are earning income, you want to pay tax. We offer you service to enable you meet that legal obligation. 1, we also come to forums like this to hear and be able to give government feedback on what you're saying. Our job is to collect tax, but make it easy for you to comply. All right? And the system in Nigeria, for understanding, every business person needs to understand this system, and it's constitutional. Now, Section 24F of the Nigerian Constitution says every person must declare his income to the authority and pay his taxes. It's constitutional. Which is first? Chicken before the egg? Pay your tax and get the benefit, or get benefit of pay your tax. Now, it's constitutional, so all of us are to pay tax. Our tax. Now, so we provide service. At the level he asks a question, which I'm going to speak to, at federal, the apparatus is called the Federal Inland Revenue Service. We collect VAT, taxes on incomes of companies. We also collect petroleum profit tax and collect personal income tax for those who are in foreign service and armed forces. Now, when it comes to personal income tax, personal income salaries, wages, it's collected at a state level by state internal revenue boards. Why? It's constitutional. The state expects them to, because they need to use it to develop the state where you dwell. Now, so we have a body called the Joint Tax Board, where all these states and federal are coordinated. The states are supposed to make it comply. When you set up a business, you need to contend also with local governments who the laws of Nigeria are allowed to collect from levies. So I know what you feel. Federal comes, state comes, local government comes. So in a field of multiple taxation,